Hi, today I'm going to talk about how you can find opportunity in the data field. Um, so I'll be talking about some of the tips that you can use to find good opportunity in the data field. If a refresher or an experienced candidate, what are the things that you should do to find better opportunities in the data field? So what I mean by data field is that if you're working in data analytics, data science, data engineering, quantitative research, quantitative finance, in any of these areas where you are working with data, you are building models, or you are collecting data, you are processing data, storing data. So the career options available related to data, right? If you have those skills and you're working in the industry or you're about to start in the industry, what are the things that you could use to sort of find better opportunities in the industry, right? Some of the things I'm going to be talking about based on my own experience, but also what I have learned from others. Okay. So one thing to note here is that the opportunities for data professionals have increased leap and bounds in the last 1 decade, and it is only increasing over time. Of course, there are peaks sometimes, and you see some slow growth sometimes, and so you have this seasonality like in everything else in life, but the demand is only growing over time, simply because now all the companies are investing quite heavily in data. So it is quite expected that more and more data professionals are in demand. But for the last few years, you see the growth rate has gone down a bit, simply because of the macroeconomic reasons, right? We have wars happening, inflation is quite high, and because of that, you see that the growth rate has slowed down quite drastically actually in the last few years. But it is gaining momentum, right? Some upside you see in the last few months because of economic stability in many of these developed countries, and because of better economic outlook for the next few years, you see the demand is likely to grow over time, at least for the next few years, right? So what are the things that you could use in terms of getting better opportunities in the data field? So first thing is that combine your skills, right? It's not just the data skills which are needed in the industry. You also need to combine that with some other important skills. It's very difficult to find opportunity where you say you are a specialist data person, you don't know anything else, right? Then your bargaining power will be less. So combine that with some other skills. For example, if you are a business analyst, but you also have data skills, right? So you are a data person with the skills in business analysis, or you are a data person with skills in software development, data with skills in marketing or sales, right? So combine that with some other tech skills or business skills, right? Only then you will stand out in the crowd. So that's very, very important too. And every one of us has got some other skills, not just your technical skills in the field of data. You may have other skills. You may have some strong domain knowledge in some area. You may have product knowledge. You may have good technical IT sort of skills. Write that on your CV and also communicate that to the interviewer that you are an all-rounder. You have multiple skills. Along with the data skills, you can also be useful and productive in other fields. That really is a good selling point, right? The second thing is that brush up your technical skills. This is particularly very important advice for experienced professionals. So the freshers, they always know that they need to be good in technical skills in order to be hired, but oftentimes the experienced people ignore preparing themselves well before the interview on their technical skills. I think super important to brush up your technical skills. In a lot of the interviews, you could be asked about technical questions, even as an experienced professionals, right? So be thorough with some of the basics and brush up your the technical skills that you already have. It's just about doing some revision, right? That's not very difficult. So good to do these activities before you search something outside, search something in the industry. Very important to brush up your technical skills. The next advice I would like to give is communicate the impact that you have made, right, in your previous projects. It's not just about writing about your skill, talking about your skills, but what kind of impact you have had on the projects that you have worked on in the past, right? The impact could be measured in many ways. Could be on revenue, cost, increasing revenue, reducing cost, improving efficiency, operational efficiency, right? It could be anything, right? But try to communicate that, right? What sort of an impact you have brought because of the projects that you have done in the past, right? Especially for experienced professionals, very, very important to talk in the language of business, what sort of an impact you have made with the data projects that you have done in the past. Even if you do not have anything to say, come up with some story. It may not be completely untrue, completely false, but that's okay. If you fine tune it a bit, if you try to market it a bit, that's fine, because not all data projects have got good impact, right? Many projects do fail in the industry, and that's not an exception just with the data projects. So if you have been with one of these projects and you have nothing to really to share, come up with some story. You could also be very honest, actually, that okay, we did try many ways to have an impact, but because of such and such reasons, that project didn't have much impact, right? And that also is a learning experience, and all the companies do experience that, the experience of failure, and it wouldn't be taken as a negative point against you in the interview. So learn to communicate that very well. The next advice I would like to give is, when you explore opportunity outside, dare to explore in areas where you are not very comfortable with. Try to come out of a comfort zone. If you have been very good with certain technology, try to explore something new. Very important to learn new things to survive in the industry, any industry, and certainly in the data industry, which is changing quite fast, right? You see the advancements happening in the AI, right? It is changing at a speed that we have seen never before. So we really have to step out of our comfort zone and learn new things, and work in areas that we have never worked in the past. So good to explore some of these new areas, not just in industry, but it could not just in technology, but it could also be any other area, other aspect of your work. For instance, the industry. Let's say you have been in the banking financial service industry for a while. Explore something in other industry, e-commerce, manufacturing, or services, any of these other industries, right? So dare to explore outside of your comfort zone, and it could be not just in your skill set area, but also in the industry, or even the type of role that you are in. If you are an individual contributor, try to find a job that is more of a leadership role, or you could be a product manager, you could be a project manager, or you could also be a director, manager, right? Any role that is requires you to lead teams, right? So explore opportunity which were different from your previous role, right? Do your research. That's one other advice that I would like to give. Many people explore opportunity without doing proper research. That's not a very good way, actually, because you don't change jobs every day, right? When you change jobs, it's important to do proper research. That's a very big decision, right, in life. I have seen people spoiling their career by changing jobs, right? So one needs to be very careful, actually. You may not realize that immediately, but after a while you may realize that you have made a mistake. So very important to do proper research. You just do research on what are the trending skills, right? Am I going into an area which is a dead area, it's not growing any further? No point in going to those areas, right? try to find opportunity where things are in trend, right? It could be AI, it could be any other sort of technology area, but it has to be relevant in the current time. Also do research on vacancies, right? Some areas are more popular when it comes to finding opportunities, and some other area may be less popular. But if you haven't done your research, you probably will never know about the areas which are not less popular, but equally or probably more lucrative in terms of salary, opportunities, learning opportunities, and so on. So do research on that. You could also do research on which jobs are more stable, if that is what you're looking for, which jobs pay more, if that is what you're looking for. So do proper research. And nowadays it's easy, relatively easier compared to, let's say, 10 years back, to do research on these topics, simply because you have data available from LinkedIn. You have so many articles being written by many professionals. A lot of people are tweeting about it. Make sure to follow good resources to do your research, and you should be then fine. And don't trust just one person or one article or one tweet, one YouTube video. Go through a number of them, right? Because people may have different views, and then or even counter views, and then that would help you to do proper research and take a very informed decision. Next advice I like to give is apply for position above your level, right? And dare to do that. Very important. Sometimes people underestimate their own bargaining power, their own skills, their own ability to do things. But if you do not have confidence in you, then nobody will have confidence in you. So very important to have first that sort of confidence to apply for jobs which are above your level, right? Only then you feel like, okay, you have achieved something, or you're going to gain something out of that job. Otherwise, what's the point to move at a similar level? Unless you have a compulsion, you have reasons to do that, you don't like your current job, and you want to move out of it for any other sort of job, that's fine. Otherwise, if you really want to make a career move to a higher level, then apply for the jobs which are in some ways at a higher level than your current job, right? Very important. Next advice I would like to give is that network with people. Actually, network with the past colleagues. They may give you opportunity, they may recommend you in few places. Just talk to them, ask them for a call, go on a call with them, just talk to them regarding what you're looking for. Getting hired through referral is perhaps the best, in my view. If that you can explore, that's perhaps the best, right? Not just the past colleagues, but even your friends or family members, that's also fine. But not everybody has got friends and families working in the industry, probably not many, right? But it's good to explore your past, your network. It could be a network from your university or from your past companies that you have worked in. Or attend industry events. There also you will meet many people. You can always ask them about opportunities, right? There are many online events nowadays also. You don't have to be physically present, but you can attend these events, and there also you can sort of explore opportunity, asking people directly, right? Sending cold email is also not a bad idea. Also, you need to know how to do that properly. Yeah, the last advice I'd like to give is understand your bargaining power. This is a very important advice. Unless you understand your bargaining power, nobody will understand that, right? So don't settle for anything less than what you deserve. Always ask for good position, good money, and value your skills, value the experience that you have gained over the years. If you are a fresher, obviously your bargaining power is less. But if you are experienced, I think demand more money, and that's what I recommend you to do. Okay, thanks, and see you in another video, guys.